Hello everybody, it is Barb Techel. I just have to share this with you before I start the reading today. It's always so nerve-wracking for me to start the video because I just feel so awkward. You know, here I am alone in my studio getting ready to do this reading for you. And I still haven't gotten over that feeling very awkward when I hit the record or right before. And how am I going to start the video? So I just thought I would share that little vulnerable piece with you. So now that the video is going, I feel better and much more comfortable. So today, interesting enough, I'm just realizing it's connected to the theme. I decided to do a theme, and then we'll pull some guidance from the ancestors and guidance from the animal kingdom. And I'm realizing now that's like a fear. That's a fear for me of hitting that record, and there I am, you know, and what do I say? So the theme this week is, I actually, when I was shuffling the cards, two cards fell out, and I pulled from, I don't use this deck too often, but I was called to this one today, the Nature Speak Oracle by Ted Andrews. And two cards jumped out, and they felt really like they were the ones I was supposed to share this week. And they go very well together. And the first one is Mountain and the Message of Spiritual Quest. And mountain can represent fear. I mean, not many of us are willing to climb to the top of a tall mountain. If you are one of them, wow, bravo. That is not something on my to-do or bucket list. Heights over the years have kind of become one of my fears for some reason. But anyways, I'm tying this into the message. You know, climbing that mountain, getting over that fear, whatever that is for you. Maybe you can look at that this week. And just like me, as I go to hit that record button, I have this little fear come up in me of, there the camera is. What do I say? What if I make a mistake? Oh, there it is. What if I make a mistake? What if I sound foolish? So yeah, the theme this week is spiritual quest, and looking at what maybe one of your fears are, and just think about that. I'm thinking about a really big fear I had for many years of, for a long time, many decades actually, of releasing my childhood trauma. I'm giving voice to that because I had kept that suppressed for so long. And how I felt after that. And it just makes me think of the word spiritual. It is so freeing. I really felt, after I voiced that for the first time, I really felt like this huge weight come off my body, and as if I could fly. It really felt like that. It was like this euphoria that, and just think about that, how your body carries that. That's so stressful. So maybe your fear isn't that big, but fear can feel that way in our bodies. So this week we're being asked to look at what that fear is, and that, you know, when looking at a spiritual quest, it is about going inward and connecting with our wise higher self and the higher source, divine, God, however you define that universe, to guide you and help with that fear that you may have. And what's perfect that goes with this, the other card that jumped out with it, is Summer and the message of Bring to Fruition. So when we can overcome that fear, which can take time, it can take these tiny little steps throughout our life. Maybe it only takes a couple months, a couple weeks, a couple days, but just really, you know, exploring that. And then how that spiritual quest feels when we bring that to fruition, when we take those steps and we examine and we explore why that fear is there, and then what that releases, and then how we feel. And actually, summer, according to the guidebook, you know, that is a lot of times when we do bring things to fruition in our lives. This is a time of year where we go inward and we explore these things and we reflect and we contemplate. And then we start to plant seeds and take steps towards what we want to bring to fruition, which comes into the spring, summer, and fall, or more the summer, fall months, I would say. Not that it is definitely has to go by the calendar year in seasons. It's just kind of a metaphor for that as well. So the ancestor guide this week is so beautiful. It is Grandmother Bluebell and the message of hope. I just love the colors on this card. And it says, sunlight through the leaves searches for a place to land. Hope finds home in you. And really, that if we carry hope in our own hearts, that is what can carry us forward in our lives, and helps us to keep taking those next steps. Trusting in ourselves, believing in ourselves. And I love that it says sunlight through the leaves, because as we're on this spiritual quest and we're working with our fears, there are times as we're taking these steps, we take another step, we'll have those moments of where we see hope, and then we also see glimmers of what is coming. We see these glimmers of what we've released and what's coming and how much better we feel. So I just love that, sunlight through the leaves, because as we take these steps, we invite more light into our own being and into our lives. And isn't that a great place to land? The message on here searches for a place to land. We want to land in this space of calm, peace, harmony. And when we do, look at how this card, it's just this really subtle sunlight. It's almost like this in-between realm where you're sort of seeing what's coming, and that gives you hope. That gives you hope to keep going. And then the animal realm this week is capybara and safety. And that just brings me, look at the full sunshine on this card. I'm just noticing that. Because I just spoke about how we see these, how the sunlight starts to filter through and we see these glimmers of hope coming. And here capybara is showing us the full light of who we are and that we are safe. Because the message is safety, that we're safe to be who we are. So as always, I'm going to read the message from capybara and what capybara has to share with us this week. So capybara, by their very presence, exudes gentleness and tranquility. These creatures immensely enjoy water, but are also comfortable upon the land. Each environment provides its unique form of nourishment, adding to their sense of well-being. When your emotional world is in turmoil, take your cue from capybara, who is known to dive deep into the water to escape predators. Water is not only calming to the nervous system, it's also a portal to where silence envelops you and provides a safe harbor to process your feelings. It's a space where you can allow your fears to move through you and to eventually evaporate into the ethers. That sentence is really speaking to me, being that I pulled the card Mountain and facing our fears. Oftentimes, as we go throughout their days, we might have these like little mini fears. And they do actually move through us quite quickly if we just stop and we feel into them and allow them to move through us. And I remember hearing, I heard this a couple different places. In actuality, it's like 90 seconds. And we feel like it's going to feel forever. And I know I've shared that on past videos that I've done, past sharings that I've talked about. But again, I'm just going to say that it's a space where you can allow your fears to move through you and to eventually evaporate into the ethers. Because once you let that fear go, it no longer has like this really strong energy hold on your psyche, on your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, and your spiritual body as well. So capybara, ever so tender and caring, thrives in a close-knit community upon the land with their family as their support system. While going through a time of healing, as you take the time to process on your own, it's also important to nourish your spirit by surrounding yourself with like-minded people who understand and hold safe and loving space for you. With patience and kindness, you first give to yourself, nurturing yourself from the inside out. Those you care about will see and admire the dedicated work you are doing to support yourself, and in turn will know how to best reach out to you at this time. So that is the message for this week, to face our fears and to start taking those. Think how you would climb a mountain. I'm never going to climb a mountain, but I can imagine it's one careful step at a time. It's very calculated. You have to be in this very mindful space as you take those steps. And as you do that, you start to bring to fruition this space that you wish to be in, that is much more peaceful and harmonic. And we have Grandmother Bluebell that instills hope in our hearts and helps us to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, to not give up on that hope. And we have Capybara, who is reminding us that we are safe to be who we truly are. All right, everyone, I hope you have a great week. I will see you again next week, the week of Christmas. Yay! I can't believe it is almost Christmas time. So I hope you have a great week, and take good care, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye.